Quick disclaimer, this is a message to Jim Ash, who goes on to YouTube videos connected to Wargasm to let everyone know that there's apparently another band from the 80s called Wargasm. No one cares, no one's interested, get a life. Like I was holding his hand like that, steadying him on the barrier, and then it just erupted into chaos. Unbloody acceptable. Welcome back. I am reporting on my very recent gig to go and see Wargasm.
How many drinks does it take before I get drunk off a Molotov?
Buried Tomorrow. And Electric Callboy. If my voice sounds a little bit strange, it's because I think I've lost a part of my voice from so much yelling. Looking at my face, I feel like I've aged in the last 36 hours, so there's that. I have a lot to say about this event, and this is the first gig review type thing that I've ever done, so enjoy.
Stop and follow me. I wanna get it started free the bottomies.
So any of you watching who watch my channel on a regular basis will know my feelings about Wargasm. I was so excited to see Wargasm. I was asking my friends who I went with, like, who are you more excited to see, Wargasm or Electric Callboy? And for the most part it was like 50-50, which was pretty much how I felt. I was really excited about Wargasm and Electric Callboy for different reasons. But Wargasm is like, it feels like my band, you know, like they make music specifically for my taste. Electric Callboy is a little more general, but I still love them. Because Wargasm are relatively small, I wasn't expecting to see them live for a while due to where I live. Electric Callboy, supported by Wargasm, obviously I had to go. And what I would say, I mean, I was so excited. Obviously Wargasm was the first band, so the crowd was not as big as it would become. There was probably like a line of 6 or 7 or 8 people down the front. You know, predictably with the opening band, the sound system is too bloody quiet. I mean, I know the reasons why venues do this, but I think it's stupid. The basic idea is, you know, you want to make the big main band seem big, right? If you increase the volume of the opener bands, it's not going to take away from the main band, so to me that's just idiotic, and it's clipping a band's wings when they're already, you know, they're the opening band. It's already a challenge, and you're just making it harder for them. Wargasm, I've seen their live performances, and it was no different to any others that I've seen. Really fun, really energetic. Milky Way and Sam, I could see that they were getting frustrated, I think, by the sound system and the crowd just standing like this. What's the point of going to a gig if you're just going to stand there like a statue? I've never understood this. So me and my friends were very, very active in the crowd area, and I didn't take many opportunities to look behind me, but I was just in there in the moment. I didn't really care. And one thing that was exceptionally cool was, I think on their last song, Sam comes to the barrier, gesturing for people to come closer, and so as soon as I saw this, I darted right for him and helped him like push himself up, like I was holding his hand like that, steadying him on the barrier. That was so cool. I've never done that with a band. Like I could smell him. Yeah, that was really fun. And I went there with a specifically chosen top, which was a Prodigy t-shirt, because as you can see in these videos, and as I've seen him before, he wears Prodigy merch. So I thought maybe that would catch his eye a little bit. And it did. He like acknowledged me and like pointed at me in the crowd, because I was, you know, going nuts and knew the words to every single song. And I think particularly smaller bands, they recognize that. It was unreal. They ended, it was like half an hour of a show. And I'm like, I know you're the opening band, but half an hour is nowhere near enough. For me, and you know, for everyone else there, I think, there's also the idea that they've come all this way on their tour, whatever, to play for half an hour for a sound system that is crippling their performance, not their fault, and people are just standing around like statues. I loved it. I felt frustration for the band, the fact that it could have been much bigger than it was. Yeah, Wargasm, Wonderful experience. I will be looking forward to seeing them again sometime.
My carcinogen, ever made we leave with nothing.
So, Bury Tomorrow. I had looked into this band briefly, of course, because I want to know who's playing, of course. But I wasn't expecting to enjoy them as much as I did. What I looked up, I think I listened to like 3, 4, maybe 5 songs of theirs, and I was kind of like, okay. I can see why they're warming up for Electric Callboy, but they seem kind of generic metalcore, to be honest. Like, nothing really stood out to me as, wow, I've never heard anything like this before, you know. I knew it wasn't going to be the case, but I wish I could have swapped them around, so Bury Tomorrow would be first and Wargasm would be in the middle. But yeah, I didn't really know what to expect, because I don't really follow this band. But they were a lot of fun live, I will say. The vocalist was very charismatic and confident and charming and good at working the crowd and everything. Like I said, a very fitting band to have before Electric Callboy. The only thing is, after like 20 minutes of their set, I'm like, this is great. But it's just making me want Electric Callboy, because there's a lot of similarities. They're two vocalists, similar metalcore type band. So this is the one I've got the least to say about, but it was fun. I can't deny that. It was making me impatient for Electric Callboy, which I already was. And then there was like a half an hour wait after Bury Tomorrow finished and Electric Callboy starting. And it felt like a very, very long half an hour. So Electric Callboy, in one word, whoa. I did know what I was getting myself into with Electric Callboy, and it exceeded my expectations. Absolutely wild. I was predictably in the pits, pretty much non-stop. If there was a pit, I was in it, and there wasn't really any moments where there wasn't any pits, as far as I remember. And like huge pits, like you'll see in these videos, like everyone was on board at certain points. It was like a third of the crowd standing was part of the mosh pit. It was wild. I remember helping like 8 or 9 dudes up, you know, because they've fallen down. It usually happens a few times, but not that many times. It was crazy. I clashed heads with this guy. I don't know if you can see, but I have a slight bump on my head. It's kind of gone now. Me and this guy, we like banged heads together and we're like, whoa, holy shit. Immediately friends for the rest of the gig. There's a lot of nice energy in this mosh pit, more than I've experienced in the past. Not to say that other bands' mosh pits are like full of aggressive, angry people. Not the case, but in this, I think because of the vibe of Electric Callboy in general, everyone was just in party mode, basically. There just happened to be mosh pits there. And unlike Wargasm, which was way too short, I really felt like I got my money's worth with Electric Callboy. It just seemed to go on and on. I thought, okay, that's obviously the end. Oh no, there's more. Oh, that must be the end now. Oh no, there's more. And I don't remember ever being like an encore kind of thing. It was just like scene changes. And there was one point where it actually reminded me of Rammstein a little bit. There's a bit of a pause for a minute or two, and then all of a sudden they're behind me, 3 of them, playing a piano and doing an acoustic cover of Every Time We Touch. And I was like, okay, well this is a thing that's happening then, I guess. That transformed. They played this cover, which was really nice. Loads of phones, like everyone like doing the lights thing. They ended that, and then they run through the crowd, like right next to me, and I put my hand out, and they high-fived me. That was awesome. And then it turned into one of the biggest mosh pits of the entire night. I think because there'd been, this piano cover thing had been going on for like 3 or 4 minutes, so everyone's calmed down a little bit, got their breath back, and then it just erupted into chaos. One thing I will say about Electric Callboy is they impress me in the sense that they can make grown men mosh to Every Time We Touch. How is that possible? I mean, if you've seen Electric Callboy before, you know there's every couple of minutes there's a costume change. I don't know how they manage it. It's very impressive coordination. I kind of forgot until like watching video uploads of the gig, like how many different costumes they had. It was for like almost every song. It's crazy. It occurred to me after the gig that I didn't spend a lot of the time actually watching the band because I was just in circle pits, mosh pits, pushing, shoving each other around, lights flashing, you know, confetti and everything. So I was like, was that a bit of a missed opportunity on my part? Like, 'cause I wasn't really looking at the band all that much. I was having a very, very, very good time. And what did surprise me is, despite the fact that it was mosh pits galore, I came back with very few injuries. I usually end up with, you know, battle scars and stuff. Meshuggah's particularly bad/good for that. My legs hurt quite a bit. My knees, for some reason, I must have bashed my knees into people because it feels like I've been like on my knees or something for ages. Usually it's my back or my neck. I mean, my neck is a bit stiff, I will say. But the only real injury, I don't know if you can see that there. That's one. I've got a couple on my back, but not much more. But yeah, Electric Callboy, thank you for the experience. And so to end, this is not really reflective of any of the bands at all, just this particular venue. Leaving the building was a fucking nightmare, without exaggeration. Like we were going up these stairs and it was just a sea of people going up these stairs, right? And I'm like, okay, well when we get to the top of the stairs, then we'll probably be out, right? Wrong. We were standing around, moving about 1 meter every 5 to 10 minutes. And it's just this corridor of hundreds, if not thousands of people just standing around, unable to move, because, you know, to get to the cloakroom, it was anxiety-inducing, really. Like, my heart was starting to go, like, I don't like this. I'm getting really sick of this. So I was with a couple of my friends, and then after, I don't know how long, like half an hour, I was like, fuck this, I'm going. So I just broke away from my friends and just pushed my way through the crowd and got to the front of the queue. And then I did turn into a little bit of a Karen when I got my jacket back and I spoke to the management of the building. I was like, how is this supposed to be acceptable? And this can't be the first time this has happened. This must be a regular thing because, you know, it's not like this is the first gig of this year. It's a big venue. How do you think it's acceptable to have people after the gig standing around for 30, 40, 50 minutes in a queue, unable to move? Like, what if there's an emergency? What if there's a fire? What if someone has a heart attack or something? Like, people could die in that situation. The manager was like, yes, I know, we're very sorry, yeah, we need to think of a better solution, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, you bloody do. Because this has kind of left a nasty taste in my mouth after this gig. Like, I'm thirsty, anxious, you know. No one wants to stand around like that. And so she's like, okay, well, can I get you a bottle of water? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. But yeah, that was, again, nothing to do with Wargasm, Bury Tomorrow, or Electric Callboy. This is just this specific venue, but un-bloody acceptable. So yeah, would I recommend going to see any of these bands live? Yes, I absolutely would. If you, like me, are obsessed with Wargasm, then I don't think they'll disappoint you live. How much they're able to shine is debatable, because, like I said, the sound system was just clipping their wings, unfortunately. But overall, the evening was a lot of fun. I'm still feeling it, and this is 2 days later. So much fun, really enjoyable. I'm glad this is going to be my last gig of the year, because this was quite tiring, but in the best way. Those are my thoughts on this gig. Let me know if you've seen any of these bands and what your experience was, because I'd be keen to hear. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go now and get into my pajamas, I think. I've still not thought of how to end videos, so I'm just going to say, go away.